Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about whether you should get PPF for your Tesla Model 3 2024. I've gotten a lot of questions on the paint quality. I've also heard that the previous models, well, Teslas in general, have poor paint quality compared to a few other manufacturers, namely the more premium and luxury brands. I personally haven't experienced anything wrong with this paint. Everything looks really good. I'm obviously not a trained detailer, so I don't have the eye for it. But when I got the car, I actually wanted to get PPF immediately, like either just the bumpers or the whole car. I got a quote for it, and it was a little bit on the pricey side considering how much this car costs. I didn't think that it was necessary. I was thinking that if it got scratched or if I got any scuffs, then I'll just repair it as we go. So back in South Africa, when I had my X3, I had an insurance policy that was specifically for scratches and dents, and I think this was a great product because I had my car looking pristine almost all the time. When I scuffed my rims, I just got it fixed. When I had a fender bender or I scraped a pillar, I just got the panel resprayed, and the policy was really cheap and it didn't affect your premiums because it was completely separate, and there was much less admin of claiming from this policy. I haven't found a policy like this in Portugal. If you know any policies like this, please leave it in the comments below so we can all benefit from this type of product. I became friends with Yasha, the owner of OUTCLASS car detailing, and he's offered me a deal to do the full frontal PPF just from the bumper all the way up to the front of the A-pillar. And the reason I'm getting it was actually because the last time I got my car detailed, I noticed that a piece of the bumper actually got chipped off. So there's like kind of like a hole. It's not very big. I'll show you a clip over here of what that looks like. But basically that part needs to be touched up, and then he's going to put PPF in front for me. He's doing me a favor. I was in two minds about it. I was more interested in getting the car wrapped a different color instead for the amount of money. Let's do the PPF and see what it looks like, and then I will recommend whether it's worth it or not. I'll also show you some clips of why you should get PPF. The one reason why I became hesitant on getting it was because initially when we moved to Europe, I thought we were going to be parking in really tight spaces, like when I went to collect the car in Lisbon. But given that we're living in the Algarve, the parking spaces have not been tight at all. There's a lot of space here. It's actually easier to park and drive around than Cape Town. So Cape Town is more similar to, a big city like Lisbon or Porto in terms of driving and parking. And as I mentioned before, if I am going somewhere, I like to park in a secure, paid for underground parking, so that way you prevent, either vandalism or accidents from happening. The last thing I want to talk about on this topic is whether I am one of those really fussy people that want my stuff to look pristine. I know some people that compare, driving your car with having a case on your iPhone, and having PPF is, I guess, similar, having like a wrap around your car. And some people, are happy with walking around with their iPhones or phones without a phone case on. It's a little bit different in my mind because obviously with the phone, if you drop it, it can crack and it can no longer function. Obviously with the car, if you crash it like badly, it can no longer function either. But small scratches and scuffs don't really do anything besides change the aesthetic of the car. Other people have said, getting PPF on your car is just protecting your paint for the next owner, so what's the benefit? But for me, I see it as, a neat thing. Like if you're going out and going to an event or visiting friends or going for dinner, and you go out with a unironed shirt, or like, is my shirt ironed today? Actually, my shirt's okay today. I often wear shirts that don't really need much ironing anyways. But basically, it just seems a bit tacky and unneat. It's like having your car dirty or scratched. Every time I got a scuff on my car, I was really embarrassed. I felt ashamed. I didn't want people to see. It's obviously for multiple reasons, right? Like you don't want people judging you for damaging your car, but also it just doesn't look tidy. So I think the PPF is great because it's self-healing. If you scratch it, it will heal itself as long as the scratch isn't deep enough to actually cause damage to the underlying paint. Let me know what you guys think. Would you get PPF for your car? Do you have PPF for your car, and do you think it's worth it? And as always, if you like my content, remember to click the like button and subscribe, as this really helps my channel. And thank you so much for all the support that I've received and this great community that we created on this channel. So we have Yasha here, who's the owner of OUTCLASS, and he's a pro detailer, and he's going to show us why you should get PPF for your car.
Why you should, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we have added an offcut from these pieces over here to the window now. So where you see it's gloss, that's where the PPF is, and he's going to scratch it and show you what it looks like.
Vandalize it, you know?
So that's what the guy.
Yeah, similar.
This is a wire brush.
Yeah, it's to brush the teeth.
Yeah, brush the teeth. Yeah, okay, that's much thicker.
Yeah.
Cool. So as you can see, it's very damaged.
And then
Obviously, if you rip it off, you see that those are just marks. They're actually completely unaffected. If you draw it out, it's completely clear and clean, brand new. So that's gonna be applied on my car, and you can see that the film has taken all the damage. And there's the Tesla logo. That's where the bonnet will come out. So these are the pieces for the Tesla Model 3. Here's the headlights, here's the side fenders, and there's the bonnet. This is a 200 micron one. You can get thicker and thinner depending on your uses.
medium range, let's say.
Medium.
You have 150 and then you have 250. We call the 250 microns the track day PPF because it's the one that handles a lot of abuse.
It requires a lot of skill to get this smooth. As you can imagine, the contours of the car, it's quite difficult to make it so that you can't see the seams and the edges. But we're just showing with a small piece, and as you can see, when it's applied, you can't see the PPF on the car itself. Obviously, in this example, you can see the edge because it's a small piece, but yeah, it's pretty much invisible. Okay, we're also going to demonstrate the self-healing properties of the STEK DYNOshield PPF. This is just regular heat.
This is simulating the Algarve sun.
This is simulating the Algarve sun, basically, the heat. Okay, so you can see that the film has been scratched up now, lots of swirls. I'm not going to move the camera this time. And with the heat gun, it just disappears. Wow. So this is a great investment if you want your car to look showroom quality all the time, because you actually don't need to get your paint corrected. There's a 10-year warranty on this, and these guys in OUTCLASS do a phenomenal job. As you can see, they work with the best cars. A BMW X7 over there, and there's a Porsche 911 Turbo as well. So if you're in the Algarve, or even if you're not in the Algarve, they do clients from Spain, all over Europe. Go check them out. Here's some footage of Yasha applying the PPF. As you can see, it's on the headlights and on the panel, and on the right there's some of the parts that Yasha had to touch up due to chips and stones over time. Another benefit of the PPF is that it's hydrophobic, so water doesn't stick and cause marks on it. And as you can see, that the water just slides off pretty easily. This means that your car stays cleaner for longer and impurities don't get lodged onto the clear coat, making it much easier to clean as an added benefit. Okay, I'm finally getting my car back. So as you can see, the PPF is applied. The edges still need a little bit more time to cure before Yasha rolls them over. He actually discovered a few more scratches around the car. That's under the paint. If you look over here, there's a scratch under the clear coat over there that he touched up before putting the PPF on. There's another one over here. So none of this would have happened if I had PPF, because it would have come off. And this is the main one that was scratched. It's under the PPF now, so it's actually very smooth. But you can see that the paint was damaged, and yeah, the stone chips would have hit the PPF before, and then they were self-healed from the heat. So if I'd gotten PPF in the beginning, I wouldn't have any of those stone scratches. Personally, it's not a big deal for me, but over time, you know, like I'll show you another car now that doesn't have PPF, what your bumper could end up looking like. So we got full frontal, which means bumper, the bonnet, this panel here, the wing mirrors, and this section up to here. So basically that's the most important parts. Step one, I think I'll probably get the rear bumper done as well, but the front is the most important because you're driving high speeds on the highway. You can hear a lot of bugs, a lot of stone chips, but yeah, let me show you guys what another car looks like that doesn't have PPF and what ends up happening over time. So if you take a look at this is the Porsche Macan, and this one doesn't have PPF. It's a black car, so you can see this is all scratched. This is actually scratched on the paint. There's a little bit of chips over here as well on the edges. Over here the clear coats come off. Obviously with a black car you might not notice as much because the plastic underneath is also black, but if this was white you'll see lots of pieces coming off, which really makes the car not nice.
Show this one after 100,000 kilometers done with PPF. So
this one has PPF. This car has had 100,000
kilometers.
100,000 kilometers on the PPF.
On the PPF.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the car had been on PPF when it was new, from 0 kilometers. So look the damage that it caused already to the PPF. We remove this, it's going to be practically new underneath.
If you remove this PPF, it'll be completely new underneath. The paint is completely unscathed. So it is definitely a worthwhile investment if you want your car looking new, and also it makes it easier to clean. Definitely works better than some of you have ceramic coating on your cars, but this works a lot better than ceramic coating. The water just flies off. It's hydrophobic. So yeah, if you guys are based in Portugal or Spain or anywhere in Europe, actually, OUTCLASS can look after you guys, and they do a fantastic job. As you can see, they do all sorts of exotic cars as well. This is definitely a very basic car.